to Daniel Reviews. I'm Daniel Goodwin, and today we're looking at this Ego's 56 volt, 52 inch deck Z6, I think it is, Z6 zero turn riding lawnmower. Let's get into it. This is it. This is the big one, the biggest one that Ego makes. It's the 52 inch model. It was a little bit of an adventure getting it. I'll go into that later, but first I want to talk about some of the basic features of the mower, and then we'll get into what I like and dislike about it, as well as I'm going to record some video of me mowing, because I've been letting my grass grow extra long. I want to have a real test of this mowing for you. I hate those promo videos you see where somebody's mowing a flawless lawn. It doesn't look like it even needs to be mowed, and they're just taking like a 1/10 of an inch off the top, and it looks so I'm sorry, that's not what I got a mower for. I've got a pretty good size yard that is hilly and rocky, and it's got weeds and everything else in it, and sometimes it grows up faster than I can get to it, and I want to know that I've got a mower that can take care of it. So let's see if this is the model for that. Alright, first thing you'll probably notice is that this has already definitely seen some use. I wanted to use this for a number of weeks before I did a review on it. I wanted to make sure that I understood how it worked and had a good feel for how well it handles or doesn't handle certain things. And so yeah, it's it's showing some of the effects of that use, and that's probably a good thing. All right, let's focus first on what separates this from a combustion or typical gas burning mower, and that's this bay right here. Inside you've got six, count them, 6 12 amp hour batteries. These are absolutely massive. They are huge and weighty, and if you were to put them in your Ego chainsaw or your pole saw or your blower or your weed eater or hedge trimmer, these things would literally run, feels like forever, certainly longer than I'm capable of running them. So that's why they included them in the riding mower, because you get 6 of these together. Supposedly gives you about 4 acres. I think I would have some qualms with that, but that's what their marketing material says, 4 acres of mowing. I don't get 4 acres, but we'll get into that. But these are massive. It's awesome. I can use them with any of my tools, and I do. When I really want to make sure that I'm not going to run out of battery, I just come over here, pop one of these out, or maybe 2 out, take them with me with my other tools, and I know I'm not going to run out of battery the whole day, pretty much. Next up is charging. How do you charge this? Well, it's pretty simple. There's a charging port right here. I will show you the charging power supply, but it just plugs right in here, and it will charge up all of these 6 batteries. And we got nice 2-sized cup holder. You can fit pretty much any of the sizes that at least I use, which is great. This is very adequately sized cup holders, and it does hold it very securely. You've got this bay here with a USB port, which is great. You need to charge your phone or any other things that you got with them, plug it in here, throw it in this compartment, and you don't have any issues. That's the USB port right there inside the compartment, so it's very nice. Switching over to the other side of the zero turn, you've got your controls here. This obviously is a great color screen that gives you the amount of charge you have, or at least its estimate of the charge. Shows your current speed setting for the actual motion of the mower, as well as your blade speed, which right now it's on lowest, of course. A little bit. Okay, so this is the mode. I think you can kind of barely make out that it's in sport mode right now. That's in control, where you can fine tune it. Then standard mode, and yeah, it just cycles through the 3. I pretty much use, I think standard is what I pretty much use, but you can adjust it to your comfort. I think control gives it a little bit slower initially, although you can adjust it. You got your lights. There's lights on the, we'll come around, lights on the front here, which are very nice, in case you're mowing at night or early morning, or just want to look cool. You also got lights up here. I still have the spray the deflector zip tied up. It was so handy for me. I got to get in and out of a gate, and it was so handy having it up that I have not gotten around to just cutting that zip tie. I will do that eventually, I'm sure. There's also one more light. Let's get down there. You can see it right there. Let's talk the seat a little bit. It is a very comfortable seat, made with probably a faux leather, but it is very commercial grade, and I haven't had any problems with it so far. It obviously can slide forward and back. Pretty good amount of adjustment between it, depending on your height and whatnot. It's pretty good, as well as your adjustment here, height and depth. I haven't really messed with that too much. Both of the handles do slide up if you want them out of your way. They're actually pretty comfortable to use when you're using the steering. Back over to the controls here, you have your key, without which it will not do anything whatsoever. Have to have the key inserted, and then after you do, you can press. This lights up just a little bit. You have to press and hold for about 3 seconds. The light will come on, and now you can start to engage it. I will say, and to turn it off, you press and hold, shuts down about 3 seconds. I will say, this actually is pretty annoying. It's 3 seconds isn't that long, but it is kind of long, and it's kind of like, why do I have to hold it that long? Why can't I just hit it? You know, I'm sure it's a safety thing. You want to make sure that people don't just accidentally bump it and then walk off, and the battery drains and whatever. But honestly, anytime I'm not mowing, I'm going to have this back in the garage, and I'm going to be having it plugged in. So I feel like they could have made this a little. Not quite as, cut it down to a second and a half or something like that. Anyway, that's a minor point. The other thing that's really handy is you've got a dedicated cell phone pocket that it just slides in there, and it, because of that door with it spring loaded, is providing pressure on it, so your phone doesn't just wiggle around even though the whole mower might be jarring up and down. So that's very nice. If you don't want to put it in that compartment on the other side with the USB and you want to just have it here, it's pretty easy to get it in and out. So that's very nice. And lastly, this is, of course, engages your blades, which we'll get into that later. Of course, your height adjustment. And it's kind of an odd increments. These seem to be 1/3 increments. If you go 3, 1/3, 2/3, 3/3 up to 4 inches. So surprised it's not in 1/2 inches or even 1/4 inches. It's in 1/3, but I don't know that it matters to me. It's not a big issue. You can see right now I've got it set pretty high. I'm obviously not going to want to leave it in 4 inches. We'll probably put it down to 3 1/3 instead of 3 1/2. We'll put it down to 3 1/3 and see how that goes. And that's what we're going to mow with today. There's no, like, as far as I can tell, no way to like lock that in. It just kind of drops down there and sets in there. And I do wonder if you went over something and popped this up, because it rattles a lot, if this would move your height adjustment. So I'll try to keep an eye on that. I haven't noticed it doing that in my mowing, but I wish this was a little more, I guess, secure. Okay, just a few other things I'm going to point out. This is all metal. This frame is metal, and most importantly, the deck is metal. That's huge, and I think this is why the 52-inch model is a big upgrade over the 42-inch model, as they went with a bigger metal deck, which is absolutely critical if you're mowing something that you need a 52-inch mower for. You need a solid metal deck. You're going to be running over some rough stuff. Like I said, I don't have a pristine lawn. I don't have those that lawn that you see in the commercials where they're out there mowing something that doesn't look like it even needs to be mowed. So that's just not what I have, and I needed something sturdier than this. And I think this is sturdier than the plastic one, and this metal is what we needed. So that's the overview of its features. As I mentioned, I have been using this for a few months now. Wanted to get a good feel for it. I wish I had done some recording of when it arrived, because if you have it shipped, like I bought it from Ace Hardware, you can get it from Lowe's, you can get it from other places. If you have it shipped from Ace instead of from your local store, what shows up is just a pallet, a box, and this is all in it. You have to take the cardboard off, you have to disconnect it from the frame. It's probably about an hour process, a little more depending on your capabilities. They give you some socket sets to get everything unbolted and whatever. But the tricky part is they, in the instructions, they say just write it off of the pallet, which is a metal pallet. And in theory, that would be great. I went to write it off, and it didn't go straight. It went slightly to kind of like diagonally. And this wheel came off of the pallet and plopped down between two kind of like girders underneath. And so I was clearly stuck. I couldn't go forward, I couldn't go back. And what happened is I had to actually deadlift the back end of this thing. I took out all the batteries, deadlifted the back end to get it over and kind of shoved it forward. And I'll be honest, I mean, that nearly killed me just doing it. And I'm in decent shape. I can't think anyone, I mean, no one else could do it, but if you're older or it's just not something you want to be doing, I guess is what I'm saying. So I said all that to say this: Ace offers the ability to have this put together for you and delivered, I believe, for $25. Yeah, if I remember correctly. It is 100% worth it. You know, I know some people that are like, oh, I don't trust those, you know, monkeys at the store to put this together. I'll do it myself. Look, there's not a lot to put together on this. There's not a lot they could get wrong, right? Like the only thing you assemble is this here goes, you know, you bolt these on here and there. You put in the batteries, you put the seat on. It's really hard to get it wrong, and there's no value in doing this yourself, right? Just pay the money, have it done, have it delivered, save your back, and it certainly would save you a lot of time as far as unpacking the whole mower from the shipping crate. So that's my 2 cents on that. I'm going to just turn on the blades. I don't know how much this is picking up, but I would describe it as a very loud, like, floor fan, like an industrial sized floor fan when you're trying to blow out some wet carpet or something. That's what it sounds like. What's awesome is, just turn the parking brake off. So I'm mowing, and then my wife comes out to ask me what I want for dinner. That's it. Complete silence. I can have a conversation with her, tell her I would really love to be having some steak. She'll tell me we don't have steak. I'll say, but I really want steak. And she'll say, well, you're getting hot dogs. And I say, okay. And then I go back to mowing. I'm going through some of this grass here. It's 12 inches, so it's pretty solid to grow out. This is in my backyard, which I'll show later. You mildly heard that take out a stick. I have a lot of down branches in my yard, and that's not an uncommon occurrence. I stopped, I wanted to show you something real quick. When I first got the mower and I finally got it off the pallet, drove it off a little bit, stopped, and it started beeping at me. I'm like, what the heck's going on? I don't understand this. Well, the thing is, there is a parking brake. Let me zoom in right there. And even though you've got the arms in the, parked position, if you don't turn on that park brake like this, it will beep at you. There it goes. There you can see, although I just finished mowing the first front of my yard, which I would guess is probably a third to maybe a half acre, and it's already saying 67% battery charge. When that's with all 6 12 amp hour batteries charged up to 100%. So that's where I take umbrage with Ego saying 4 acres that are, I think that's what they say. Maybe it's 2.5. Either way, it's not going to get you either of those, because I was mowing at the lowest speed and the lowest blade speed, and I still used almost a third of the charge just on the front half, which, like I said, is not more than half an acre for sure. Maybe not even that, probably a third of an acre. Here's the Ego charger, and it's really just a standard charger that plugs into your 110 outlet right here. But you can mount this as I did on the wall. It's not super easy to mount, and I'm not great at mounting things and keeping them level, but this one was particularly hard. It has 4 individual holes that you've got to line up just like perfect to make the whole thing fit, and I think that's needlessly complex. Anyway, charging though is pretty simple. Just this plug. You just take it, plug it into the mower, swips up, plugs in, and it is showing you that it is charging. So we've gone through this from the beginning. I went over all the features. We got video of me mowing with it. Let's wrap up, and I'll go over the pros and cons of the Z6. Start with the pros. It's a cordless, powerful zero-turn mower with a 52-inch mowing deck. It's pretty much the only one of its size in class right now today. And it is a great zero-turn mower. It does well. It has plenty of power. I pretty much always run it with the lowest blade speed because it's very good and it cuts through my grass no problem. It is comfortable, got a comfortable seat. It's got decent range. It's nowhere close to what Ego advertises, up to 4 acres. No way in my dreams. Like it will, I have about 1.5 acres, maybe to 2 acres. It would not, I doubt it would do both my front and back hill in one charge. It would be right on the fumes if it did. So definitely no 4 acres here, but also my back hill is a very significant grade. Positives is it's just well designed, it's well constructed, it's very convenient to discharge and be ready to go. I don't have to go back and forth to the gas station all the time. I don't have to worry about a hard start every spring after putting it away for the winter. None of that, all that goes away. And I think it's going to pay back over time. Will it offset the expensive premium? Probably not. But it just makes my life a little more convenient, and I like that. Okay, let's talk about some of the cons. Well, the cons are, one is that I already mentioned, it doesn't have the range that is advertised by Ego. It's not 4 acres, it's not 2.5 acres. It's, for me, maybe pushing 2 acres because of the hill. Next mower puts on taller and wider wheels. It will definitely help with the terrain. and I think would be a significant improvement on this mower. Additionally, I wish this part of the body is all pretty much plastic. I think it would be wiser to go with a metal, be sturdier and perhaps a little less shake, and of course more weather resistant. Other than that, it's a fantastic mower. I wholeheartedly recommend it. I understand it's a significant price premium. I can't definitively say that it mows better than a combustion engine mower. I can just say that obviously it works very well and is easily comparable. So that's it for this review. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.